There comes a point in a difficult relationship when you realize something very important. Your peace is worth more than proving a point. And that is where no contact can change everything. When someone has become accustomed to having access to you, your attention, your time, your explanations, and your emotional energy, your silence can feel very different from anything they experienced before. Suddenly, they cannot check in whenever they want. They cannot pull you into another argument. They cannot easily find out what you are thinking or what you are doing. And the longer you maintain that distance, the more noticeable your absence can become. But let's be clear. Not every person with narcissistic traits becomes obsessed, and not every situation is the same. What matters is that someone who is used to having constant access may struggle when that access disappears. That is why no contact is not about punishing anyone. It is about taking your life back. When you are constantly surrounded by conflict, confusion, mixed messages, and emotional pressure, it becomes difficult to think clearly. You spend so much time trying to understand what happened, what they meant, why they changed, and what you should do next. Distance gives your mind room to breathe. You start noticing things you couldn't see clearly while you were in the middle of the situation. You begin remembering how often you felt drained. You recognize how much energy went into keeping the relationship stable while your own needs were pushed aside. And slowly, clarity returns. That is one of the biggest reasons people choose no contact. Not because they want revenge, but because they finally understand that peace requires boundaries. And sometimes, when that access disappears, the other person may try harder to reconnect. They may send messages, call from unfamiliar numbers, ask mutual friends about you, or suddenly appear more interested in your life. This is where you have to be careful. You do not owe anyone immediate access simply because they suddenly want it. If you have decided that distance is healthiest for you, protect that decision. Strengthen your passwords. Secure your financial accounts. Review your privacy settings. Turn on two-factor authentication. Be mindful about what you share publicly online. And if you ever notice something genuinely concerning, such as repeated unwanted contact, attempts to access your accounts, tracking concerns, or someone showing up where you are, take it seriously. Document what is happening, tell someone you trust, and consider appropriate professional or local support. Your safety comes first. And please understand something else. You do not need to announce your healing. You don't have to post every detail of your new life. You don't have to prove that you're happier. You don't have to show everyone where you're going, who you're spending time with, or what you're building. Sometimes the strongest move is simply living your life privately, because eventually the focus stops being on whether they noticed your absence. It becomes about whether you notice your own presence again. You wake up without immediately checking your phone. You make decisions without wondering how someone else will react. You begin enjoying ordinary moments again. Your finances, time, energy, and attention start becoming yours. That is the real power of no contact. Not making someone else miserable. Making room for yourself. So if you are currently maintaining distance from someone who repeatedly disrupted your peace, don't confuse their attempts to regain access with proof that you should go back. Pay attention to patterns, not promises. Your healing does not need their approval. Your boundaries do not need their permission. And your future does not need to include anyone who continually made you question your own worth. Take your time. Protect your peace. Keep your boundaries strong. And if this message spoke to you, stay connected with TF for more conversations about emotional boundaries, difficult relationships, personal growth, and rebuilding your peace.